What I'm doing here is piping some lace. I've got my lace pattern on a piece of white paper which is underneath a sheet of waxed, and then the whole thing is taped onto a board. Follow the lines down, and this way you keep each piece the same as the one beside it, so that when you come to put them on the cake they're all going to be the same size. You can pipe little dots on the lace. I like to see this because I think it makes the lace look very pretty. Once you've got your lace piped, you can just have it on a sheet, keep this in a box, and then you use it when you want to. Okay, so what I'm going to do now is go on to the actual cake, and the pattern, I can sit down to do this, the pattern that I was showing you first thing this morning is now being scribed on the cake. And I'm going to use my coloured icing to pipe the stem lines, follow the lines around, and then you can do the flowers by piping a bead and bringing it down into the centre. So just like you would a shell, pipe it and pull it down. Okay, and so you would complete your little pattern just like that. Go back with your coloured tube and put the centres of your flowers in. Now the bow is done in a slightly different way, in that the icing is a little bit wetter and I haven't got a nozzle in the bag. Start in the middle, push out the icing, tail it off, and again this is where you use your damp brush to pull the icing and move it around so it covers the scribing line. You'll find with small pieces like this you don't need a piping line to hold it. It'll do it itself. It won't go anywhere if your consistency of your icing is right. And that's the most important thing about advanced work, is that you get the consistency right for the job you're doing. So this is thinner than a piping icing, but not as wet as a flooding icing, which is the one that you do for the collars or for your fine drawings. So you just fill in the areas of the bow and use your brush to pull the points out. And remember, cover up all those lines, you don't want to see them. And so you build up the bow the same way. To do the actual extension, before I turn it round to show you the bow, the easiest way to get your line on, if it's a straight line, is to rest a ruler against the side of the cake and simply draw your line on, and you'll see you get a nice straight line. Take off the excess dust that you get when you lift it up, and then you start piping your bridge work. Now I'm going to a slightly bigger nozzle for this, it's a number 1, and starting on the dot you let the icing fall out of the tube. Now this first line is the most important. It has to adhere to the cake, because if this one doesn't adhere, when you start doing the extension down to the bridge work, you're likely to lose the whole lot. Some people use a tilting turntable for this, and it's fine while it's tilted that way, but don't tilt it the other way when you come to do your extension work, because it'll all bow, and so you build out the line. And then you come along and you put another one directly on the top. So if you're working round a cake, you obviously wouldn't be doing 3 little bits like I'm doing. You would actually have your extension going right around the cake, and you would build out one line at a time, so that by the time you come back to here the first one's dry, and you build out 7 rows of extension or bridge work, and it comes out directly from the side of the cake. Now you can actually see our pattern is finished. The blow is completely flooded and the little leaves and flowers are in place. To do the actual extension work, I'm using a very fine nozzle, which is a 00, You can go as fine as a triple O, and that really is going fine, and this icing does have to be well sieved. And what you do, you have to have a lot of patience for this. For every one you put on, you'll take 3 off. Just come down with the line of icing. Don't stop at the end of the bridge work. Go past it, because your tube is actually harder than the bridge work and it could shatter it. Take it down, straight past, and pull it off. And each time I wipe the end of the nozzle, and I keep my paintbrush handy so that I can then go back and take off the tails. Pipe a bar above your extension work. You get your sheet of lace, and I actually put my finger underneath the lace so that I'm lifting it, and this way it's already half lifted off the paper before I put my knife underneath. Pick it up, hold it between your finger and thumb, very carefully go onto that bar of lace, stick it on, and use your brush to position it so that it is in line with the rest, and always look along the line of the lace so that you can see that they are all at the same angle as each other. I'm sure you'll agree that extension work is really beautiful when it's done on a cake, as you can see by these.